In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating one way to make an aux speaker out of an old tool case and some old speakers. Checking to make sure the speakers will fit, marking where I want them. Cutting out the internal supports. Make sure when you're finding a good case that you find one that has as little supports as possible, because this can be very time consuming. Finding a circle that's the size of the speaker for a template. Tracing around. Cutting out the holes. Cleaning up all the edges. Re-putting the speakers back in place. Marking the mounting holes. Finding the right size drill bit for the nuts. Drilling them into place. Threading the nuts on and just bolting everything back in place. For speaker builds, it's usually really nice to use an old desktop speaker. The amplifier is really awesome and will actually go quite loud if you use a bigger speaker. Car speakers work really well. Because a small speaker takes a lot more power to drive it, typically. Now you can just mount it in the top like so by just drilling the holes for all the different dials and buttons, but instead I'm going to use the PAM8430 chip because you can get them on eBay for about $1 each, and they work with 3 volts or 5 volts, so this can be an awesome battery speaker. Drilling a hole for the power switch. Cutting the wires to length. Stripping the ends of them. Putting the wires into the chip. Soldering them in place. Soldering the power wires on. Soldering the power wires to the battery brick. Soldering my leads for my switch leg. Soldering the switch leg in place. Trimming the other end. Stripping the wires. Mounting the switch. Now for audio in, I'm going to use aux because I like the sound quality, but you could also just solder on a Bluetooth module. Stripping the ends of the cord. This cord I'm using is quite low gauge, so I'm just going to twist 2 of them together, soldering it in place. Now for the other end, stripping the wires and twisting them together on this end as well, tinning the ends to make it easier to mount. Also tinning the ends on the headphone jack. You could solder the headphone jack also so that when you plug an aux cord in, it would disactivate a Bluetooth module, but that would be for a different video. Drilling a hole for the headphone jack, gluing everything in place. I'm also going to use a USB cord so that you can switch between AA batteries and a USB power bank. I'm going to solder that onto the other side of the power switch. So one side is 3 volts and the other side is 5 volts. Here it is. Plugging in my audio. Due to the limitations of my audio recording equipment, the microphones are clipping and popping, so it sounds terrible. But it actually is quite loud and sounds fairly good. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.